began manufacturing kayaks 6 years ago with a one-model kayak and sales limited to the Canadian market only. Throughout the years, we as a business have grown enormously, now reaching in 2018 our maturity stage in the product life cycle. We have immensely developed our business in order to adapt to the various changes in the industry and market. We have strived to grow our business in North America by offering the best possible structure, services, and work environment for anyone who helped to strengthen Kayapro. We religiously believed in our mission statement to produce kayaks that let outdoor enthusiasts safely enjoy North America's numerous rivers and lakes, with the goal to becoming a leading manufacturer for the kayak industry. In our first year of operations, we reported in a net loss because we were a startup company. The second year, we drastically increased profits with the help of the market analysis by $200,000. However, in year 4, we did hit a recession, but we were still able to keep profits up. Year 5 resulted in an increase of expenses as we added more new benefits to our employees, and with the final year, that's when we had reached our maturity stage in the product life cycle. For our product mix, Kayapro has manufactured one single product, which is our mid to high range quality kayaks. We carried a Calypso model rating of 4 out of 5 stars. In the future, we would like to increase our width, depth, and length to differentiate more new products to enter into the market for our future. From a human resource perspective, there are 12 major categories that should be considered for the management of people within an organization, such as job analysis, training, performance management, and benefits, to name a few. With marketing mix, there's 4 categories, which is product, place, price, and promotion. Our product, as mentioned before, is our mid to high range quality kayaks. In year 6, that's when we were able to sell in Canada, Eastern and Western United States, as well as Mexico. For the price, we tried to stay competitive, and it ranged from $650 to $900, depending on the specific country and the exchange rate. And for promotion, we used a bunch of methods, such as magazines, trade shows, contests, corporate websites, to help us advertise our kayaks. In regards to management accounting, it's very important for our organization, as this allowed our company to produce at the optimum capacity. Financial accounting involves external users, which can be prepared on a quarterly or annual basis using the generally accepted accounting principles. These reports pertain to a business as a whole and represent past information. With regards to managerial accounting, it involves the internal management and can be prepared as frequently as needed. The contents of the report are very detailed, and it represents future information. Given this, we as a company were then able to analyze the budgets, such as the balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, in order to get a better understanding of how our company was progressed in the economic environment.
So our capital cost structure was built around maximizing our debt to equity ratio. Debt was extremely high due to poor financial decisions early on in our company life. We were switching banks too quick. We were trying to get the higher loans, but that ended up getting our levered firm was at a 40% debt and 60% equity split, which was too high for the point at which our company was at. We soon learned making capital cost decisions without sufficient sales, and more importantly profits, deteriorate our company's growth. We fixed this by choosing an appropriate bank, one where we could afford the interest payments and the loan amount. By year 6, we were down to a debt of 4%. And with that debt, we were investing for excess cash to pay off interest payments or tax payments. So some issues we faced in operations of our company. Year by year, our net income was definitely not sufficient enough. It was not growing. It was kind of all over the place. So we were trying to lower expenses, and we found that very difficult to do. We hired too many employees at the beginning, I believe. Our salaries expense was too high, and we couldn't get this down. It was outweighing or it wasn't giving us a sufficient enough net income by the end of the year. And that brings us to our other point, managing employee wages. Every year it seemed like we were paying our employees too much, but we wanted more out of them. And our last point is utilizing effective capacity. It brings us back to the employee tab there. We were hiring too many employees, and our overtime rate to kayak production was off, and we couldn't lower our overtime pay and still have the amount of kayaks that we wanted to produce. So on to our turning points. We had many negative turning points along this road, not many positives. So transitioning from year 3 to 4 was definitely not good for our company's financials. Sales dropped significantly and expenses rose and continued to grow. When there is no change in sales and an increasing expense section on the income statement, it is never a good sign. We believe the cause of these expense increases and sales drops were a mix of factors. Expenses first increased because we moved our company to sell in the United States. Along with this came higher shipping costs and higher production costs for the increased sales. We thought it was all good until we saw the results for year 4. In year 4, our quickly growing startup company took a turn. Sales decreased immensely, yet expenses remained the same. We tried hard to lower the expenses year by year, but we just couldn't swing it. We believe if we had more years to turn it around, we could. But for now, we dug ourselves a hole that we couldn't get out of, and we're trying to dig our way out of it slowly. So, my last point is optimization. It was a learning curve throughout the simulation process. So, we found that our company did not have an adequate amount of cash, so expanding and investing in our company was tough, and it was hard to grow. So we also believe that patience is key for long-term goals. I think we focused on too many short-term goals, and that was not optimizing our cash. Patience is key to achieve the long-term goals, and we focused too much on short-term goals, so it broke our long-term goals. Some methods that we did use to optimize our cash account was the just-in-time inventory method. This actually helped our company lower our inventory or our carrying costs, and it helped lower expenses by a ton.
In the business of selling kayaks, we have many strengths and many weaknesses. And our main points, which is the strength. And I will start with our first strength, which is high quality. When you talk about the kayaks, you need like something strong and can hold the weather and the different season. So with the high quality, like as we are kayak companies and we're working right now in the market for 7 years, we have the most strong and unique materials we're working on our kayaks. And the second point we have in our strength, which is the life insurance and the life insurance and health insurance for our employees. So that will also help them to offer assistance security to its representative and their family. Our third point, when you talk about strength, it's our excellent kayak stickers. So like our kayak stickers always make our customers' attention, especially for the young boys who still like this kind of water sport. On the other hand, we have the weaknesses. In our company, from our experience in 7 years in the market, we're facing small weaknesses in this company. The first one is the changing weather. As we know, kayaks become most often enjoyed in the summertime. So in the way to using the kayaks, you need sunny and hot weather. So we need to extend our products in the other countries, for example, Gulf countries or Middle Eastern side or Africa. So they can use it more than Canada or Mexico, as long they have a most sunny season most of the year. And the second weakness we have, the customer looking to buy a kayak with lower price more than looking for the quality. So this will affect our product and our company, as long as we are a unique company working in a high quality product and we are using a high quality material. Our last weakness is achieve the target. As our production team has been working consistently hard to predict the required target in the kayak, the planning capacity is not enough to meet the required production in the given amount of time. Around 1,394 units out of 13,219 kayaks are being produced in overtime hours.
I will talk about the risk and opportunity that our company has faced over the past 7 years. So we have broken our risk down into 3 different factors. The first one being financial risk, followed by competitors, and the last one will be increased liability. So let's talk about the most important risk, which is financial risk. Since we are exporting our products to North America and Mexico, we have to make sure that our product quality is perfect. So doing so, it's going to increase our shipping prices, product packaging, employee salary, and also costs for other important departments in the store. Secondly, we have competitors' risk. This involves the changing condition in our marketplace. So during summer, our sales increase, but when it comes to winter times, we don't have as much of a greater sales volume as we do in winter. So we have to make sure that we're always promoting our product in summer to get the most out of the season. And the last risk is that our company needs to improve its quality to promote its sale in Mexico. So to improve our quality, we will have to invest in improvement projects. We don't have that much cash at the moment, so what we should do is take a line of credit and invest in that. So that's going to help us increase our sales in Mexico. So now let's move on to the opportunities. So speaking about the sales in Mexico, expanding in Mexico could be one of our biggest opportunity because of the potential target market. We have to improve our quality of our kayaks, which will help us reach the highest quality demanded by our customers. If we choose to overlook this quality demand, then in alternative, we will have to reduce the price of our kayaks, and that wouldn't meet with our current costs. The second opportunity is increasing our brand awareness. And to focus our increasement of brand awareness, we have to make sure that we advertise more towards the younger generation who are more prone to outdoor activities. To do so, we have to change our budgeting medium. So instead of going always advertising in traditional medium, we're going to advertise more on social media, newsletter, blogs, and stuff like that. And our last opportunity is we must also increase our commissions for our sales department to promote more aggressive sales tactics. So again, this is just going to tie in with our second opportunity, but just expanding on it and looking it into more of a promotional factor. So that concludes our risk and opportunities.
So it was very important for us as a new company in the market to forecast and analyze the issues or the challenges that are affecting us, and in order for us to stay in the market and be competitive is to address these issues or challenges. One of the biggest concerns was the consumer satisfaction, because we sell high quality products, and there are low involvement consumers and high involvement consumers. And in order for us to attract both high involvement and low involvement, we had to apply the retailer discount retailers. And because the high quality products are expensive, so many low involvement consumers they care more about the price of the product more than its quality. So we wanted to attract, as I mentioned before, the high involvement consumers and low involvement. So we had to apply the retailer discounts.
So self-appraisal could have many uses, and has many advantages in a workplace and also in the educational system. So for example, it's just when an individual rates himself, and there'll be various questions, and it could have a scale between very poor or to excellent. So in our case, the self-assessment was very useful, as like our group got to understand one another, and like as a group we can look at where one's struggling and one's strengths and weaknesses are, and as a group we can help out and like pitch in and like try to help this person. Also in like a working environment, like co-workers could look at how this person's performing and like how they view themselves. But also it also has its downside, as it could have its various cons. So like one could be very biased and like say like how they're all just excellent, and like that would lead to a downfall in the group, as like one won't be able to view how this person, like where their weaknesses are and like their strengths, so like one can't really pitch in to help this person out. And also another weakness that comes along with this is like one could look at themselves, and if it is biased, it could, like in a working environment, it could lead to like the manager not really knowing who could really get a bonus and like who could really use the help and like an extra hand. So peer appraisal is typically used in like an educational system in which like students could evaluate their peers. Also it could be used in like a workplace where like employees could like judge one another and like co-workers and understand their strengths and weaknesses. So there's many advantages, as like information of how like the employee or student is like performing in the educational system or in the workplace, and it helps like provide like an insight and like views on how one tends to work and like how they interact and like work together as a team. So for example, with like our group, like we got to like understand one's like weaknesses and strengths, and we all got together as a group. We gathered everyone's ideas and like we worked as one. So it benefits in finding like new skills and how like upon like we can build up like leadership skills. And like most importantly, like it emphasizes like the fact to like mentioned before, like to work as a group, and like everybody has a responsibility, and like every peer and like every co-worker has a responsibility to understand like the people they're working with, and like because this could be for just now, it could be like for future projects, and like we can understand one another's strengths and weaknesses. So all around, it helps create and establish a better working environment and like relationships with coworkers when knowing who is around them. Although there are many pros, there are also some cons, and this is a reason because every employee and like every student has a different view and a different like belief when like completing a task. So like for example, in our group there was like some conflicts that arise. Like some people thought we should do certain tasks this way, and like other people thought this could be done in like a certain different way. Like obviously like conflict arose, but like obviously we got to understand one another's ideas, and like we got to put it together, and we came together as one. Also there's many risks, because like some people could look at a task, and as mentioned before, they have like different beliefs, so they can perform the task at like a different level, and like another person might not agree with that, and that could take an account and like towards the person's actions, and like begin to evaluate them less than what they really feel like. And also there's also a con, because like in a working environment and like in school, like some people might feel like, oh, they're putting in all the work they can, they're putting in their best effort, and in the end like they feel like they're gonna get evaluated by their peer, which could also be like a biased opinion. So in our group we broke down each assessment into like various parts, and like we came together as one in the end to talk about it. I thought this was like very useful, as we got to look at everyone's ideas and different beliefs, and we got to see how our group worked together as one, and like how that changed, and we got to see everyone's strengths and weaknesses, and everyone pitched in to help out if anyone needed help. So the only thing I would add to the team evaluation is that the team collaborate with everyone's ideas. Also, did our group do a good job of including everyone in the discussion? And did our group have a schedule and a routine set that we all met? And for the individual evaluation, the only thing I would add is if the peer or the student acted as a leader, and if him or her helped his peers, and in conclusion, if the person helped solve problems throughout the evaluation and like the stimulation.